The assembly elections are around the corner. You must be closely following the news to have an opinion on who to vote for. There was a time when Indian National Congress used to be the only party in existence. These days, every street of the city is crowded with posters and pamphlets of so many parties with almost the same agenda. But at least the Tamil Nadu assembly elections this time would have one party contesting it with a completely new and, may I say, rare agenda. The name gives it away. I'm talking about the All India Lovers Party. Let's find out more about what's making the lovebirds in the city buzz about. Imagine Valentine's Day in India, and there are two thoughts that come to one's head. The colourful cards at Archie's and Shiv Sena's men lurking around the corner with sticks in their hands. At least this is what young couples in Chennai had to fear before Kumar Sri and his men came along. Meet the president of the All India Lovers Party.
நான் லவ் பண்ணும்போது வந்த ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இதெல்லாமே இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பொலிட்டிக்கல் கட்சி ஒன்று உருவாக்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு நானும் ஐடியா வந்தது என் மனசில். அதனால் நான் இதை இந்தியன் லவர்ஸ் பார்ட்டின்னு February 14, 2008 நான் ஆரம்பித்தேன்.
Kumar Sri has been championing the cause of love for almost 2 years now. He sets out each evening to the various lover spots in the city and tells people how his motive is not to win votes but to unite lovers against all odds. And he has been quite successful at it. Over the last couple of years, he has conducted many marriages, battling it out against parental and societal adversities.
என்கிட்ட வந்த காதலர்கள் யாராவது வந்தாங்கன்னா அவங்களோட ஃபுல் டீட்டெயில்ஸும் நான் கேட்பேன். அவங்களோட ஏஜ் ப்ரூஃப் கேட்பேன். கரெக்டாக ஆணுக்கு 21 வயசு, பெண்ணுக்கு 18 வயசு, அந்த மாதிரி கிளியர்னஸ் அவங்களோட டீட்டெயில்ஸ் எல்லாமே இருந்தால் அவங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் என்னன்னு பார்ப்பேன். ஜாதி கொடுமையா, பெற்றோர் எதிர்ப்பான்னு சொல்லிட்டு எல்லாமே கேட்பேன். அவங்களால என்னால் முடிகிற வரைக்கும் நான் என்னோடய ப்ராப்ளம்ஸை சால்வ் பண்ணுவேன். என்னால் முடியல, இன்னும் ஜாதி பிரச்சனை நிறைய ரொம்ப ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் ஆனால் கமிஷனர்கிட்ட கொண்டு போய்ட்டு இவங்களை கல்யாணம் பண்ணி வைப்பேன்.
Kumar's popularity has risen spectacularly since he started the party. A political party with an unusual agenda like this drew media like hungry sharks to a drop of blood. But popularity didn't mean that Kumar's life was now easier. After all, Chennai is a traditional city.
எனக்கு எத்தனோ மதசார்பற்ற கட்சிகள், இன்னும் ஜாதி கட்சிகள் எத்தனோ எதிர்ப்பு தெரிவிக்கிறாங்க. ஆனாலும் அதை பற்றி எனக்கு ஒன்றும் கவலை கிடையாது. எனக்கு இந்தியாவில் காதலர்கள் பலம், காதலர்கள் 30 கோடிக்கு மேலே இருக்காங்க. அதனால் எனக்கு யார் மிரட்டலுக்கும் யார் பயத்துக்கு நான் பயப்படுறாங்க. இந்த ஐஎல்பி இந்தியன் அகில இந்திய காதலர் கட்சி பாராளுமன்றத்தில் ஒரு 50-80 எம்எல்ஏ எம்பியில் இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் நான் இதை விடவே மாட்டேன். தேர்தல் கமிஷனரில் ரிஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் வாங்கின பிறகு தான் இதோட முயற்சி அப்போ தான் நான் முழுசுமையாக நான் மக்கள் நடுவில் இறங்கி நான் போராடுவேன்.
Kumar is now eyeing the coveted chief ministerial post and believes that supreme power would help him serve love to the fullest. To some, it might still remain as another political stunt to bag votes. But to some, it is the efforts of a smiling man to teach the world a language it has almost forgotten, the one of love.
நான் முதலமைச்சராக ஆகிற ஒரு சந்தர்ப்பம் அப்படி வருங்காலத்தில் நடந்தால் ஏழையே நாட்டில் இல்லாமல் நான் ஒழிப்பேன். அப்படி ஏழையே எல்லாருக்கும் கல்வி, வேலைவாய்ப்பு, வீடு வசதி, சாப்பாடு வசதி, எந்தமே ஏழை என்ற என் கண் பார்வையில் இந்த இந்தியாவிலே ஏழையே இல்லாமல் நான் ஒழிச்சு கட்டுவேன்.
With all the hearts that Kumar Shrishi is winning over, he might soon set his eyes on the prime ministerial post. Kumar Shrishi says on his website that by virtue of love marriage, these lovers have managed to free our country from the evils of caste difference, dowry, untouchability, women exploitation and child marriages. Well, that's just putting a thought in your head. And while we are on the topic of something rare and unusual, let me take you to meet our personality of the week, horologist Pradipta Mohapatra, who happens to be Chennai's biggest watch collector. One of Pradipta Mohapatra's most noticeable possessions is a thick book on 1001 wristwatches. Pradipta, whose fascination for watches began nearly 4 decades ago when he first started collecting Japanese quartz watches as an engineering student in the 1970s, now boasts of Chennai's one of the biggest watch collections.
Started off very early in my childhood. I had a fixation for engineering, and I think watch and fountain pens were two objects that offered perfect opportunity to play around with. So I think some degree of fascination started very early in the day, and it grew. I mean, those days were not for research or anything, not many watches were available. So it grew over a period of time till really I became very interested in the science of horology. I'm not much of a collector. That's not how I'm known as. But I'm known as the extent of study I have done on horology, the science of watchmaking, how watch designs are done, and more particularly watch brands. So I would like to believe that I'm actually a horological historian. So both the subjects put together are really what I'm very passionate about.
This horologist has sure done some extensive research on his subject. As with anything vintage, each watch in his collection has a story of its own. From a gleaming bright red Cartier tank watch that impresses by design to a pale black dialed military watch that was built specially not to reflect searchlights in the dark. Then there are the vintage pocket watches that were wound by a key, at times made of gold. These and many other gems of old time nestle in these soft leather pouches in Pradipta's collection.
From early to mid 19th century, men only had these pocket watches, and they usually wore it on coats, and there was a pocket specially for the pocket watch. 1904, when Dumont Santos, the Brazilian flyer, he came to Paris and requested his friend, who's Pierre Cartier, by saying, "Why don't you make a watch for me that I can read time while both my hands are engaged in flying the aircraft?" This particular watch was offered, called the Santos Century, for 100 years of men wearing wristwatches.
Such knowledge and the urge to constantly add to the collection is difficult to be kept inside. Pradipta does rue the fact that India at large doesn't have many enthusiastic horologists or a watch museum to speak of. Very soon, he plans to set up an association for horologists in the city.
There is no association of watch collectors or watch enthusiasts in this country. And what I'm trying for is to bring in a French organization into India. And I believe we want to set up forums where watch lovers and watch enthusiasts can be in touch with each other, discuss the science, talk about its future and the history.
While his love for watches is eminent, there is another simple scientific invention that fascinates the engineer in Pradipta Mohapatra: the pen.
I'm interested in pens, but I can't call myself a collector. This is a Visconti pen, an Italian pen. So I read a little bit about pens. I write about pens as well.
Once Pradipta sits you down to tell you the stories of his favorite watches, you would want to know the story behind any watch you spot. He just has that kind of a hypnotical effect on you. Did you know that the inventor of the digital watch was Peter Dimitrov, who was a NASA engineer? And in those days, the watches were called geek watches because they used to have other features than just displaying time. Ah, the timeless memories. Timeless memories of Madras coming up next. Keep watching.